It's 1:03. We'll call this meeting in Wichita County Commissioners Court to order. Everyone please rise. I'd like to call on Commissioner Mahler to give the invocation at this time.
Join with me in prayer, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today to bring you thanks for the many blessings that come our way, for health and happiness and pursuit of happiness, and the ability to live in a country where we can come together and work together toward the improvement of life for our citizens. We ask that you watch over our employees, that you watch over our military, our law enforcement people as they put themselves in harm's way to protect us all. And go with us today, guide us and direct us, and most of all, save us from our sins. These things we ask in thy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. If y'all would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the Texas pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. Take seats, please. I would ask the court to take action on the consent agenda, please.
Judge, I have been through the consent agenda and a couple of times for approval.
I will second the Commissioner's motion.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Preston and second by Commissioner Mahler to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any comments or questions by anyone? Okay. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. We'll move on to general business. First item on it is to review and approve the emergency and regular bills for payment.
Judge, I reviewed the emergency and regular bills and moved for approval.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Norris, second by Commissioner Gonzalez to approve the emergency and regular bills as presented. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 2 is to receive an annual briefing from Murphy Davis. Mr. Davis, when we changed days, by the way, we did send notice out to media and everyone that we were changing quite some time earlier yesterday. He would like to come and do that presentation. I think, Mr. Hampton, you told me on Tuesday, the 18th. All right. That's what we'll receive that from him. Item number 3 is discuss, consider, take action to hire one regular full-time investigator in line 100.465.12 in the Public Defender's Office at the grade and step of 18E due to the high level of experience of the candidate. The position was budgeted at 18E for 2014. Mr. Rasmussen.
Judge, what my request is I understand the policy we can hire at A or C level. This is at E level, but because of the experience of Mr. Boyle, he has 30 years of experience, actually more than the person who left. I'm asking that we bring him in at the budget to the level of 18E, so there's not going to be any budget requirement or budget change or anything like that. In fact, we're coming in underneath because there's a couple of weeks there where we're changing from one to the other. So, but he has a tremendous experience. He's an advanced law enforcement officer. He has been a chief of police. He has been a captain of the prison out here. He runs the prison when the warden's not there. He can really be an asset to my office. And so I'm bringing him in at, I want to bring him in at 18E, E level, which is like, I told the judge this morning, I think it's $27 difference from the C level. And so, but that's my request, just complying with the county's requirement. And I think I have ample justification for doing this. So I'll let any questions.
Any comments, anyone in the audience? Commissioners?
I'd make a motion that we hire a regular full-time investigator in the Public Defender's Office, the grade and step of 18E, due to a high level of experience of the candidate, and there will be no budget change to operate under the existing budget, and I think we will be tickled to have that kind of experience in the office.
I'll second that.
Thank you, ma'am.
I had a question.
Yes, sir.
On the person that left. How many years experience did he? I mean, how many years did he serve here?
Judge Camillus Gonzalez, we had 13 years of experience with Beth Bailey. So this person has like a lot more experience with them.
No, I mean working there with you.
With me?
Working here for the county.
Beth was
She was
13.
with 13 years.
13.
I think she was 10 years as a senior investigator. Before that, she'd been a legal assistant that's before my time, but I know she was a senior investigator for at least 10 years.
But she was not, and it's not a requirement of the job. Ms. Boyle is a certified law enforcement officer.
Right.
And Jim and I talked about it this morning. Now, even though he has all that background and all, he will not be filling a law enforcement role, will not be carrying a weapon or anything like that. He is not, his role is not the same as those that are investigators in the district attorney's office. So, but he does bring us probably altogether over 30 years experience.
Right. Beth was not a peace officer, if that's what you're asking. She was not a peace
No,
officer.
I was just wondering how many years she had been working
Yeah.
for us, and
She worked for us for 13 years. She was, I think, for several years a legal assistant, and then she was promoted to an investigator. But she was not a law enforcement officer. She was a licensed private investigator. But and Mr. Bailey is, or Mr. Boyle is he is.
well, what's the job description or what's required for that job?
They do not have to be peace officers, if that's what you're asking. They're not required to do that. So, but they perform the same functions.
Oh, well,
Anything else, sir?
As a matter of fact, I would say, Commissioner, that Roy has, or Joe has more experience than the DA investigators, really. I mean, than a lot of them do.
Anything else? Call for the vote on the motion by Commissioner Muller, second by Commissioner Norris, to approve the request as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign.
aye.
Motion carries 4-1. Thank you, Mr. Rasmussen. Good to have you with us. All right. Yeah. You notice what you had done for me out of the prison is well displayed over there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. The only problem I've had now is that the general said, the other colonel has said, why is my box not as big? I said, well, I don't know. Yeah, no, we're fine like it is. Yeah. So, all right, we're at item number 4 is discuss, consider, take action, authorize the sheriff's office to purchase training munitions from Defense Technology at a total cost not to exceed $1,700, including shipping, to be paid from 100.560.3426 training munitions and supplies. I think that's fairly straightforward. The sheriff does not have anyone present to answer questions. Do you all have any? And I'll do my best.
Budgeted item, I say,
Yeah.
Judge. Pretty much housekeeping. I'd make a motion that we take action to authorize Sheriff's Office to purchase training munitions from Defense Technology at a total not to exceed $1,700, including shipping, to be paid from 100.560.3426.
I'll second that.
Thanks, sir. Motion by Commissioner Muller, second by Commissioner Gonzalez to approve the item as stated. Any other comments or questions? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 5 is discuss, consider, take action to authorize the month-to-month lease of a Xerox copier for the Criminal District Attorney's scanning project in conjunction with Core Order 12.699 of December 2nd, 2013. Ms. Boutwell or Ms. Kennedy, who's speaking to this?
Yes, Judge Bishop. We received a quote through the IT department for a temporary scanner. This is temporary for the Discoveryville scanning project. That came in at $267.93 a month. For this scanner, it's the Xerox, the large work center. There are a few features that are additional expense. We would like to have the stapler and the fax on there as well. That would bring it to $291.16 a month. And we're looking at this term being a 6-month period, so that would be $1,745.96. The scanner and, a copier was not in the original quote when that was approved, but I would like to say that we did save nearly $700 by getting desks from the DPS. So we did not spend that money that was quoted originally for the desk.
Okay.
And I would like to add too that, one of the things that we're dealing with is that LGS is a little behind schedule for us on the Discovery project. We don't have the web portal in place, which we hope to have, to be able to put the documents on a web where attorneys could look at the documents electronically. And so we're going to have a backup system probably for the next 6 months of producing these documents to our outside counsel, whether that's by fax or by copy. And so I think this copier will get well used upstairs.
So that's why we're interested in just doing a 6-month deal.
Yes, sir.
How's that working here? We're a month and a half in. What's the workload? How's it going?
We have one scanner in place now. We have 2 more beginning work tomorrow. And so far, I think it's gone really well. We ran into some software kinks that are getting worked out, which is really good.
Should we ask LGS to reimburse us if this is their failure to get that ready or not?
We can certainly look at doing that.
You shall see.
I mean, this is a project outside of our initial contract with them that we've not received a bill for, but.
Okay. Well, I haven't done it
They look
yet.
at it as something that they're required to provide because we're by law mandated to do it, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, certainly we're frustrated, and we've had a lot of conversations. We got the system up and running, had some kinks in it initially, got it finally reinstalled on everyone's computers, and then I discovered Friday, probably late Friday or early Friday, that it had not been turned on for all the prosecutors and stuff. Little things like telling them to turn it on were important, I guess. And then we had some attorneys in the office who it just wasn't working for, and they spent some time on various computers trying to get that working. And then
Will it
came
be?
in this morning and it wasn't working again, and they got that up and running again. So we're going through some issues as we're getting the process started, but I haven't even heard yet about where we are with the web portal. I've been trying to push for some kind of timeline, but as you know, Judge, our timeline for the discovery process, we had hoped to be up and running in September, and we didn't end up getting it until mid-December. And it's just now sort of working, limping along.
Will it be totally digital once it's up and running?
It can be,
Can
yes. And that is the goal of the office, is to try to go to an electronic. We do that on the bond forfeiture side. That's one of the things that we incorporated. Once we were able to start scanning things in through my legal assistant and able to start doing documents from LGS, we went completely electronic. It's saved us a ton of money on folders and office space, storage space. But we're nowhere close to that yet, but that is the goal eventually, to go electronic.
So at that point, it's just a matter of scanning it in and then making it available, and that should make it a lot simpler than
Yes, sir.
Or at least we hope so.
We hope so.
Okay. Could I have a motion from the court then?
I'd make a motion that we authorize month-to-month lease of the Xerox copier from the Criminal District Attorney's scanning project in conjunction with Court Order 13.12.699 of December 2nd of 2013 for the total monthly cost. If I got the number right, $291.16. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And extrapolate that out to 6 months. I'd make that motion.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second that,
Thank you,
Judge.
sir. Motion by Commissioner Mahler, second by Commissioner Preston to approve the 6-month contract for the Xerox copier. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Another situation, Judge, is I'm from the government and I'm here to help you.
Yes, sir.
Brace yourself.
Exactly. Cover your pockets. Okay. Item number 6, discuss and consider take action to approve the county treasurer's report for December 2013 and authorize commissioners and county judge to sign affidavits certifying compliance with section 114.026C for December 2013. Mr. Hampton.
Honorable Judge of Stevens Court, I think you have the numbers there in front of you, and we're definitely closed out the year in December well ahead of where we were the trailing 12 months. So that's the good news.
That's good.
And the bad news is that this camera needs to be adjusted because I just got a reflection of the back of my head, and it seems like there's a ball spot back there.
We thought that was a sunspot.
Yeah, I
The
think
sun
it's
was
a
coming out finally.
camera glitch, obviously.
There's no boy on TV that has a spray product that's supposed to.
Sign me up for a half gallon.
I think they call it Krylon.
Is that heat-resistant paint?
Yeah, there you go.
Once you got it, fixes the screen door where it won't leak in the boat. Yeah, that's what you
I run that
need.
through one of the monthly deals up in the DA's office. They'll never miss it.
Run up there and we'll scan.
They want to get those for those cardboard boat races, spray that in there.
I would move that we accept, yes, the
Any other questions?
treasurer's report for December 2013.
And authorize the county judge.
Authorized county, and I think we
And
just
commissioners.
signed it.
Yeah.
County judge and commissioners signed the affidavits certifying compliance with section for December 2013.
And I'll second that.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions on the motion by Commissioner Preston, second by Commissioner Mahler? I would like to say that positive balance is the kind of thing we are working towards for several reasons. One, first of all, we do not fund 100% of our budget with tax money. We've pulled in about 20% of it with reserves, and probably another 10 to 12% of that 80% is made up of fines and fees and grants. So it is important that when we finish, so we don't wind up with a lesser cash balance than we did the year before. The other thing, and Mr. Davis will probably venture into some of this, but one of the reasons that the commissioners, Mr. Wall, Mr. Hampton, and I are working to look at what is our money, because as we move towards the jail issue, we're going to try to use all the cash we can available. We've set aside money for the projects that are listed in the budget. They're going to go on that have to do with county office and building renovations, but the other thing we've got to do is look at that jail and how we're going to work with that and have the least amount of tax burden we can. And there's a slight bit of advice we received: this is a great time to borrow money. Well, the federal government certainly believes in that. But in our case, we have to pay for the money we borrow, and that would increase the amount of tax being added on. So we're going to try to find that balance that will allow us to borrow the appropriate amount of money, pay down the appropriate amount of money to keep that increase low, and yet reserve enough money that if there is some sort of a calamity, then we are in a position to deal with that, and often money's what deals with those kind of things. We had a disaster several years ago that we put up $500,000 to begin the work to help out our community before we were approved for federal or state disaster money, because the job needed to be done. And I want us to be able to stay in, I know the court does, stay in a positive cash position, one, to remain sound for any bonding efforts we'd have to do, and second is to deal with the things that come unexpectedly, that we have the wherewithal to do that. So Mr. Hampson, I appreciate all your efforts, and I know the court does, in managing that money to get every little bit of it out of it you can. So thanks a lot for your efforts, and I know you counsel with Mr. Davis to get their bigger picture view, but you know, reading over how you've invested and what's been done in the investment policy, we'll talk about in a week, because that's part of our annual requirement is to go through and approve that policy and look at the investments. But what the report we have now looks good. So I want to say thank you for that. Okay, we are down to the part, we need to vote on that. I'm sorry. Motion by Commissioner Preston, second by Commissioner Mahler. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. We are down to public comments. Anyone in the audience have anything to bring up? Commissioners?
Bob mentioned that tomorrow is Abraham Lincoln's birthday, 1809. Born a Kentuckian, so keep that foremost in everyone's mind. 50 miles from where Jefferson Davis was born.
How far from where Robert E. Lee was born? 103 miles?
The general was a Virginian all his life, Judge.
Okay. All right. Thanks, sir. Anyone else have any great comment to bring up? Commissioners, I'll ask once again anything from you all. I do appreciate, I got good comments on what your all's crews have reacted and done, both out in county road areas, what has been done in clearing parking lots and keeping things moving here. I did understand they've erected that sign in Iowa Park now, so ski the slope. Oh, okay. All right.
Ski the hill.
Yeah.
Our guys were out, of course, yesterday and over the weekend, Judge, and they're always good about that, always when they call them late. They're ready to gather. Once again, we always keep going back to it, but I remember having them out at 6 o'clock on Christmas morning one year and working all day long. So those guys are pretty dedicated and appreciate what they do.
That seems to run all the way through. So,
Exactly.
all right. I have 1:24, and we're adjourned.